those two old parties, they're dying. They're dead. They don't serve our causes anymore. And so, yeah, I totally agree with you. Absolutely.
All right. So let's say you're making a pitch for yourself right now in front of a group of people, 1/3 of whom are big fans of yours, 1/3 hate your guts, and the other third are willing to listen. And you got about a minute. What do you say to them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I just would talk about my platform. My platform consists of grassroots activism, getting our local and state candidates the resources and the help that they need to win elections and start pushing public policy into a more free direction, upgrading our technology. We need to be able to compete with these two old parties, and we can't do it if we continue to stay out of the technological age. I really want to do a media hit squad. I want to have 4 people in 4 corners of the country that are ready to descend on these media opportunities, much like I talked about in Alabama earlier. We need to start getting into the media. They don't have a vested interest in us or our ideologies. And so we need to start going to them. And I definitely want to do candidate education and start getting our candidates the information that they need to run a solid campaign. I think we've had a lot of issues with that in the past. And then I talk a lot about my coalition building with the crypto community. I think that's a really libertarian cause. I think they're already fighting for the stuff that we would like to see happen. And so we need to bring them to the party. We need to show them that we're willing to fight for their causes. And I think that's going to bring us a ton of new activists and a financial stability that we've never been used to.
Joshua, if people want to find out more about this race and your role in it, where online can they go?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have my Facebook page is Joshua Smith for LNC Chair 2018. You can check me out there. I do a lot of posts there. I also have a Steemit. You can follow me at Steemit. If you're not familiar with Steemit, it's a great platform for libertarians because you get paid for your content in crypto. And my Steemit name is This Life is Hard, all one word. It's a really old moniker, so don't worry about it. And then I also have a small landing website that's Joshua Smith, 4, LNC.com.
Okay. And I think you're on Twitter, right?
I am also on Twitter. Yes, I am still learning the ins and outs of Twitter. So let me see if I can find that handle for you guys. I think that is also Joshua Smith for LNC.
It's Smith Chair.
Yeah, Smith Chair. There you go.
Right, yeah.
Listen, I didn't make the Twitter. I'm still learning how to use it. It's not something that I ever used in the past. And it just seems like a bunch of flame wars all the time. People are always going at each other's necks there. Is that true? Is that true for you, Tom?
You make it sound like that's a bad thing.
No, I have no problem with it. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. It's fun, but man, you got to really manage your time with it, or you can spend all day long on it. But it generates a lot of email topics for me, though, because somebody will say something inane, and you can write 2 or 3 emails about that. So it's a good source. But yeah, look, we'll give you'll have plenty of opportunity to learn the ins and outs of Twitter. And you can hire somebody, you can have people help you, volunteers, once you are the party chair. Can you just say something about, before I let you go, who else is in the running? I mean, you don't necessarily have to put them down or praise them or anything, but just who are they?
Currently, there's Nicholas Sarwark. He's the incumbent, obviously. He's been there for 4 years, and he is running for re-election. There's Alicia Dern, who is a trial lawyer out of Southern California. I think she lives in Missouri now. She ran for 2016 vice presidential nomination and ended up stepping down and endorsing Bill Weld to the behest of many people in the crowd. There's also 2 different Matthews. There's Matthew Shooter from Pennsylvania. He's a very loud activist that's been in Pennsylvania for many years, farmer out there. He's been arrested for the cause several times. And then there is the open communist from Michigan, Matthew Keno, who has stated that libertarianism is communism and he would like to spread socialism through the party. Please don't vote for him.
Okay, well, fair enough. I appreciate your restraint in some cases, but some things just need to be said, I suppose. All right. So what I'm going to do is I will take all these different things that you just said, and I will link to them at tomwoods.com/1153, which is our show notes page for today. So people who want to follow you or wish you well or support you in one way or another can have one single place to go to find all those links. So tomwoods.com/1153. Joshua, best of luck to you. I suppose I will probably be seeing you at the end of June, and because I'll be at least briefly at the convention. So
I heard we're putting together a pretty awesome event there that you might be a part of.
It's going to be a tremendous event. So now that are we allowed to mention this
Yeah, we
now?
can totally talk about it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that because June 30th, this is 2018, because I have people who are, months behind on the episodes. So
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 10th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,319 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $36, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,337. Antiwar.com reports the Pentagon is seeking private contractors to provide medical evacuation services to U.S. ground troops operating inside Yemen. This solicitation began at the end of April and seeks 4 fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft capable of providing services and having ballistic protection systems. This comes amid recent revelations that the U.S. has Green Berets operating along the Yemen-Saudi Arabia border, despite the Pentagon long maintaining their role in Yemen did not involve combat troops. In addition to these troops, the Pentagon is known to have special forces operating in Yemen against al-Qaeda. U.S. Transportation Command wants this to cover not only Yemen, but nearby countries in the Horn of Africa. In practice, this likely just means Somalia, where a number of U.S. troops are present. The reliance on contractors for these services are controversial. The Pentagon has long handled time-sensitive things like evacuation of casualties. As U.S. forces spread across more and more countries in smaller numbers, however, the Pentagon is finding itself short of capacity and is looking to make this up with contractors. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports after a vote by the state's Energy Commission on Wednesday, California became the first state to require all new homes to be built with solar panels. The California Energy Commission voted unanimously 5-0 to add the requirement to the state's building code. It goes into effect January 1st, 2020 and includes all condominiums and apartment buildings up to 3 stories high. Some buildings will be eligible for exemptions from the requirement, including those shaded by trees or with roofs too small to accommodate a solar photovoltaic system. The CEC estimates the move will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 700,000 metric tons over the course of 3 years. Commissioner Andrew McAllister said the case for this was extremely strong. In California, we do believe in climate change, we do believe in facts. It's become clear to us that it's the right thing to do and the marketplace is ready. Currently, about 15,000 new homes built in California each year have solar panel installations. The new rule is expected to increase that number to 80,000. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the National Transportation Safety Board said on Wednesday it will investigate a Tesla accident in Fort Lauderdale, Florida this week that killed 2 teenagers and injured another, the agency's 4th active probe into crashes of the company's electric vehicles. The NTSB said it was sending a team of 4 to investigate Tuesday's crash of a 2014 Tesla Model S that was reportedly traveling at high speed when it struck a wall and caught fire. The agency said it does not believe the Tesla semi-autonomous autopilot system will be part of the investigation. The NTSB said this investigation is primarily focused on emergency response in relation to the electric vehicle battery fire, including fire department activities and towing operations. A preliminary investigation showed the Tesla drove off the road and hit a concrete wall, immediately catching fire, according to the Fort Lauderdale Police Department in a statement. Police said the speed of the vehicle is believed to have been a factor in the crash. The new investigation adds to an already contentious relationship between Tesla and the NTSB. Last month, Tesla launched out at the NTSB after it took the unusual unusual step of removing the automaker from the investigation of a fatal crash in March in which a Tesla vehicle's driver assistance autopilot system was in use. The NTSB defended the decision, saying Tesla released investigative information prematurely and in violation of procedure. Tesla, in return, blasted the NTSB, saying the board was more concerned with press headlines than actually promoting safety. It accused the agency of violating its own rules while trying to prevent Tesla from disclosing all of the facts. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
With each successive bite failing to relieve his anxieties, increasingly worried man Dylan Hawks told reporters today that he has yet to come across any trace of guacamole in his burrito, despite having specifically requested it when ordering.
No, there definitely wasn't any guac there. Cheese, beans, chorizo. Oh man, I hope they didn't forget.
Hawks has continued to maintain hope that there may still be an undiscovered sliver of avocado somewhere in his tortilla. However, with his fears for the meal mounting, Hawks has reportedly considered asking the cashier for a refund at various points while eating the burrito.
The thing is, if you had a burrito and it was missing cheese, you might not notice it because there's sour cream, but guacamole is completely different. I just don't know how I wouldn't have tasted it by now. Christ, I'm almost done with this thing.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus Network satellite.
This is
the Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
All right, welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. I'm Will Coley, and back here in the studio on this wonderful Thursday afternoon, I am joined live via remote by Miss Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method and Miss Aria DiMezzo, the queen of crypto herself from God, my mouth is just not working today. I hope I don't do this bad when I'm giving this speech on Saturday.
Ooh, fancy.
Maybe that's what it is. I've been practicing my Arabic diction all day, so.
Okay, yeah. So, but just we can't speak English anymore.
Yeah, my mouth just isn't working. My palate's like, no, English is too lazy of a language. You need to add some flair.
Oh, I see.
Oh, goodness gracious. So how y'all doing tonight?
Pretty great.
Sorry I missed out last night.
Doing good.
I have a house full of kids with like stomach viruses, so yeah. Basically what happens is we have a house full of sick kids. We tag team, like I take care of dinner and laundry and all that kind of stuff, and she takes care of the kids. Unless it's the girls that are all sick. And then we switch. Because and I don't know why, but if the girls are sick, they're like, I want to do nothing but lay on daddy.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So they literally just lay on me and look at each other like, get off him, you bitch. But they're sick and they're too tired to shove each other off. But they do. My daughters give each other this evil look when they're both laying on me like, he's mine, move.
That is amazing.
It is.
That's
They're
hilarious.
so cute. They are. They're just awesome. But when they're down for the count like that, you know, we kind of have to tag team. It's just with 5 kids, it's too much for one person when you've got 2 or 3 of them that are sick. It's just too much.
That's totally fair.
So
that's okay. My building was doing concrete repairs again yesterday, so
yeah, see,
I would not have been able to make
with
it
concrete repairs. Tom can't come. That leaves Aria by herself. We'll just run a refeed. Mike's not back in the country still.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been much fun.
Oh, I'm sure you would have had a blast. One of these days we'll actually get you to do it.
Yeah, just have me ramble for 3 hours.
Yeah, Tom's
just,
done it.
You know, not when I'm here. Yay.
Not for 3.
Right.
just as long as it's not me. We'll throw Aria under the bus. That's fine.
Right. There's so much news today. Oh my God. So let's see. Where do we start? North Korea released hostages today. So that's good news. Let's see what else. So the people who voted for so in 2010 there was this guy, right? And he granted immunity to the people who committed torture at Abu Ghraib and other black sites all across the world under Bush. He and his administration granted immunity to the people that committed torture. 2 years later, a whole bunch of people voted for him and got him reelected as president. Now, 6 years later, those people who voted for him after he granted immunity to all these people who committed torture are mad because one of those people who got immunity, and was promoted again and again for the last 8 years, is going to get one more promotion. But this time,
I mean, really shows our priorities.
This time, instead of Obama giving the promotion, it's Trump that's giving the promotion. So all the people who voted to give the guy who pardoned the torturers a second stab at the horrible job that he was doing are now outraged that that person is now out of prison. Isn't that kind of odd to you? Like, all of them seem to have forgot. You know, dude, you do realize, like, 8 years ago, you voted for the guy who pardoned her. And, like, he spent 8 years giving her promotions. That's why she's assistant director of the CIA now and not in a prison cell. Is because
that takes some effort to get there.
It's because of the guy that you voted for. How are you mad today about this? I'm confused. And you weren't mad then. So
are Democrats generally mad about Gina?
Yes.
Well, I mean, they're generally mad at Trump.
Particularly your progressive activist community.
Okay, but where is Gina? Where is her support coming from exactly?
From the right.
But I've heard it told that pretty much that she would be
and
like
the
a
mainstream
general...
left, I would say.
Okay, I was going to say that she would be a pretty nice, like, across the aisle candidate for this position.
She was, and a lot of Democrats have come out. We actually read an article last week from MSDNC where they were like, "Look, she."
Oh, about how the patriotism bleeds out of her ass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, they're like, she bleeds red, white, and blue. She was going to destroy all the evidence of torture because she, you know, it wasn't so she could protect herself from prosecution for violating international law. No. It was the selfless view of, I've got to protect the identity of these CIA assets. Yeah.
Well, and honestly,
we can't risk their identity becoming known by putting them on trial.
Oh, my favorite was while she was being interviewed this week, somebody says, if Donald Trump were to order you to commit the same acts of torture that you were involved in under George W. Bush, would you do it? And her answer was, I don't believe that he would ask me to do that.
Yeah, because that's smart.
Totally not the answer to the question that was asked at all.
I mean, didn't he campaign on a sort of ruthlessness?
Oh, he did. He campaigned straight up on I think waterboarding is awesome platform. So
how does she come to the conclusion that he won't ask her that?
Because, magic.
Because she didn't want to answer the question?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, John McCain came out against her.
And so did Rand Paul, I think.
Yeah, there have been quite a few people, and it's, you know, I guess, like,
well, that's because McCain was a POW. He knows how ineffective torture it is and how barbaric.
I'm so baffled by the fact that you've got these people that are so, like, they're out in the streets pissed off about this when none of them had a single word to say when Obama was granting immunity to these chicks. Like, I see CARE, the Council of American-Islamic Relations, like all day for 3 solid days now, talking about Block Haspel, how horrible and what just an absolute miscarriage of justice, and you shouldn't reward torturers. But, like, she's been getting promotions from Obama since 2008 and not one single. This is the first time I knew the woman existed.
Seriously.
But she's the assistant director of the CIA when Trump takes office. So that means she went from a field agent to assistant director of the CIA under the Lord and Messiah, the Christ himself, Obama.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
If you're
Dear David, a few well-chosen words can help level the playing field with Goliath. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. Recently, I saw a Yellow Pages ad for an appliance repair company, and the headline read, "Why wait for Sears?" If you're going to the Yellow Pages, the Dead Sea Scrolls of advertising, you're ready to buy right now. So this is an attention-grabbing message. And how about the plumber whose radio ad says, "Call by noon Thursday and we'll be there Saturday at no extra cost"? Smart guy. Most plumbing firms give their crew the weekend off. This one gives them Sunday and Monday off. In the words of a respected advertising executive, cut to the chase, make it quick, and tell me exactly what you can do for me, especially if you're looking for work. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. The bomb, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Somehow one country can bomb another country and be defending itself when they shoot back. I know that with an opening like that you have to know. I mean, there's only one country on earth that could shoot at another country, and when they shoot back, it's self-defense.
Us?
Oh, okay. 2 countries. Oh, wait. I
There
forgot. UK and France. So 4 or 5 countries. There's 4 or 5 countries out there that, you know, if you shoot at them and then they shoot back at you. Oh, actually, if they shoot at you, you know, if America comes and America shoots a gun at me and then I shoot back, America now needs to defend itself from my aggression, not my defense of myself.
That sounds like Matt Keenel.
Well, you know, I mean, it is telling that all of these countries are socialist in nature. You know, Israel is one of the biggest socialist countries on earth. France, majorly socialist. England, majorly socialist. America.
I mean, they're such socialists that they'll kill your babies.
Seriously.
You can't get more
me
socialist
started
than
on
that.
today. Don't get me
So
started
much.
on that. I do not have the time for that rant, and we've got bombs to talk about.
So anyway, a story I wanted to cover yesterday, and we weren't able to because I wasn't here, that it seems is continuing on today. You've got... So basically what happens is Trump says, I'm not going to honor the treaty with Iran anymore. So within just maybe hours.
Not a treaty, agreement. If it was a treaty, it would have been ratified by Congress, and it would actually, matter.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a treaty. It just wasn't ratified by Congress.
It's not a legitimate treaty. But the reason he can pull out of it
I don't
so
think
easily...
the United States Congress
does
ratifying
legitimate
something
treaties.
is what determines what is a treaty and what isn't.
Well, it is legally, but I guess it would be more whether or not Congress ratifies a treaty or not has nothing to do with whether or not the American government will actually abide by it. Because we have tons and tons of treaties that we've had with, particularly with Native American tribes, that, you know, as soon as we decided we didn't like the treaty anymore, wasn't worth the paper you wipe your butt with. So, yeah, the ratification of Congress on the validity of a treaty, it may be legally more valid, but that doesn't change the fact that 9 times out of 10, Congress isn't going to acknowledge it if they don't feel like it anyway. If Congress had done this one, say a Democrat Congress had created this treaty and Trump by executive order decided to pull us out of it, I don't believe for a minute that this Congress and Senate would have stopped it. You've got 8 people in the Congress and Senate that are willing to say anything against Israel. Total. Like collectively between the two bodies, you have 8 people who are willing to say anything critical. Yeah. Yeah, if Iran is if Trump's like, I'm pulling out of this deal, and Israel says he wants me to, that's the end of the deal. Done and done. We know that. So the fact that Congress didn't ratify it means a bucket of piss. But what we do know is that immediately after Trump announces this, Israel launches a series of missile attacks on a base just south of Damascus, and then claims
in self-defense
to be bombing Iran. Iran then...
correct me, because my Middle East geography is like most Americans. Damascus is not in Iran, is it?
No.
I'm
Damascus
pretty sure that's in
is
Syria, right?
It's in Al-Shams. Yeah, it's in Syria. So...
Is Iran in Syria?
No, Iran is not in Syria. Iran is a different country.
Iran is a different country, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Syria is mostly landlocked, where Iran has quite a bit of coastal region, first of all. And, geographically, it's on the opposite side of the state of Israel, if I'm not mistaken. But it does share a border with Syria, I believe. But now the claim...
also a few letters of the alphabet.
Right. Now the claim is that basically Israel bombed Syria. Syria shot bombs back at Israel. And Israel's response was, look at what Iran's doing.
It's pretty great.
Iran's bombing
it's
us.
scary how accurate that is.
It's like...
Well, the article alleged that, they were Iranians in Syria.
Well, except for the fact that the Syrian army is like, no, it's totally us. But, who cares about that kind of thing when you're trying to incite world war? I mean, come on, we got Trump in office. That means we can probably bomb Iran finally. Can we get this over with? Israel is just begging. Begging. Please bomb Iran. And Saudi Arabia, there was a big thing with Saudi as well. There's some big riot I saw earlier today where Saudi Arabia is just like, please, we'll help. We want to bomb Iran. Can we get involved?
It's not so much.
I mean, they make money off of that, and that's easier than competing with them, where they don't make as much.
It's not so much, hey, we'll help, as, wait for us, guys!
We want to kill Shia, too!
Don't leave us out! This is like our thing! You're infringing on our gimmick! Like, we literally just played this pantomime out at a wrestling show a week ago. How are you going to leave us out of the anti-Iran stuff?
Well, of course they blah 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 blah.
So, Will, you said that you implied at least that Saudi Arabia is at least partially motivated by a desire to kill Shia.
Yes,
that's what she said, by the way.
What?
Ignore Tom. He's making inappropriate jokes.
I don't know much about Islam. Obviously, I've said that thousands of times, but why would they want that? It seems to me like Baptists wanting to declare war to kill the Methodists. Is that essentially what it is, or is it more divided and more sectarian
like Catholics
than that? You have no idea.
Protestants.
Yeah, I was about to say, you might even get some Baptists to make that declaration against Methodists, depending on the churches involved.
I know Pentecostals will in a minute.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Pentecostals
yes, but they won't actually do it.
Don't be so sure.
Give them the ability financially to, and they just might. You never know. I mean, Stranger things have happened.
Free Talk Live.
I said he was working for
You
criminals.
called him a criminal, did you not?
No,
I don't
he
think
might have
so.
just been a sucker.
He said he was working for liars and thieves and criminals. Isn't that what we would call politicians?
They've been crooked since the dawn of time.
Agreed. So let me ask you, what is somebody who takes money to kill at the behest of liars and thieves? What do you call that person? Because a veteran is the one who called in and boxed us in the corner on this in the past. I don't have an answer to that question. That sounds very nice, at least. Do you?
Truthfully, no, I really don't have an answer to that
Me
question
either.
except to say he was doing his job.
Well, I mean, that's what they said at the Nuremberg trials, right? They were just following orders.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually.
Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is just another wonderful day here in our little crypto community. Let me turn this camera around here. Righty there. Let's look and see. Nope, I'm not on there yet. But if I were, you would see this awesome little Yocan piece that I've got here. It's got a AR, it's got an SKS, it's got an MG, it's got a Uzi. It's got quite a few little submachine guns on it. I'm loving it. You can. The camera still hasn't switched. Oh well. It's one of my favorite pieces. I've been looking at it in there for a while. And I finally decided to go and use some Dash. That's right, Dash. Use some Dash, and I bought this wonderful little piece here. It works just perfect for what I need. It's cleanable, $30. Got well, I can't. Wait, never mind. I'm not allowed to talk about that part yet. But there's some really cool things going on with Dash. But you know what? If you want to experience this kind of life, you know, where it's like I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna buy some. Well, let's see here. What am I gonna buy? I'm gonna buy some candles, and I'm gonna buy a new ashtray, and I'm gonna get a new vape. Oh, there we go. Now we're on camera. You can see. Ding! It's a nice little piece, huh? Right? So you can get a nice little vape. You can get your oil changed. You can get curry. You know, get some really good Pakistani food. You get pizza. A lot of the food trucks just opened up. They're serving like barbecue and stuff like that. You can get a security computer built from scratch. I mean, so many different things. You can go to Portsmouth and grab some carts, go buy groceries. But if you're going to do it, you got to come here. There's a great opportunity for you to do so coming up soon. You can do a little bit of crypto tourism. Well, you come see us for ForkFest. Now, ForkFest is it's coming up in June of this year, where you can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 14th through June the 18th for ForkFest 2018 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and, well, you're invited to come create whatever experience you'd like to see others have. ForkFest is completely decentralized. That means nobody's in charge, so everyone's in charge. It's up to you to decide what's going on and what happens. So you're welcome to do that. You can create your own events, dance parties, classes, or, you know what, just grab a cooler, get a lawn chair, pitch a tent, kick back and relax in the woods with some great liberty-loving folks. You can go to forkfest.party to learn more. While you're there, you can join the forum or the Telegram chat group. Again, that's forkfest.party. So we've been talking about the march toward war. Donald Trump pulled America out of the quote-unquote Iran deal just a few days ago. And just moments after his announcement that the United States would no longer be acknowledging that deal, Trump announced we wouldn't be in. Israel shot missiles into Syria, bombing a place just outside of Damascus. Now, from antiwar.com, we've got the first piece of this story. Israeli officials continue to insist they don't seek escalation in Syria. They've been precipitously
Precipitously?
Thank you. My brain is fine, but my mouth is just not working. Escalate the conflict along the border. Overnight, Israel carried out missile strikes against dozens of targets across Syria. An attack described as the most extensive Israeli attack on the country in decades. Preliminary reports have 23 people killed by the Israeli attacks, with 15 described by Israel as, quote, foreigners. Israeli officials are claiming to have hit virtually all of Iran's infrastructure inside Syria. Israel is presenting this as, quote, retaliation for Wednesday's rocket fire against the Golan Heights, which they're blaming on Iran. Iran is denying involvement, but even if they had the rocket fire would itself be retaliation for multiple Israeli airstrikes against Syria previously. Russia reported that Syria intercepted half of Israel's Israeli missiles, and Israel is saying they also attacked and destroyed 5 Syrian anti-aircraft batteries during the attack because the batteries fired on Israeli warplanes that were invading Syrian airspace. Though Israel's attack and escalations has been seen primarily as aiming to pick a fight with Iran, more immediate danger is that Russia will at some point decide that enough is enough and through violence and force deny Israel access to Syrian airspace.
That would be something.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, that would be something. It would be something bad, but it would definitely be something. Unfortunately. Let's see here.
I mean, the real question is whether Russia would actually stand up to Israel. It seems pretty far-fetched to me to think that they would, because I mean that's like standing directly up to us. It's like trying to deny us airspace.
Define stand up to.
For real.
Take action that would lead to direct war.
Anything where even if it's the slightest of criticism is automatically met with you're a Nazi. I mean, all that Rand Paul did when he first got elected to the Senate was say, I think we should have a comprehensive package where we end all foreign aid to all countries. That's pretty simple, right? He didn't even mention Israel. He just said, look, we need to end all foreign aid to all countries. We don't have money for other countries right now. We're billions, trillions of dollars in debt. That means we don't have money to give away to foreign nations. And 5 Democrat senators drafted a resolution and a statement where they said that he was a Nazi and was advocating for a second Holocaust. And that's not...
Are you serious?
That's not hyperbole on my part. That's what they said. Bill Nelson... they were all 5 Democrats. Yes! So you can't even say... all foreign aid should be done away with. You can't even say that because that includes Israel. And if Israel's included, you are automatically advocating for another Holocaust. Seriously. Well, now it turns out this Iran deal, it affects more than just peace between the U.S., Israel, Syria, and Iran. It affects more than just nuclear arms proliferation. It affects a lot more. It turns out it affects the American economy and the American worker. And when we get back, we're going to talk about how Trump's pulling out of the Iran deal will cost American companies hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in revenues on lost business deals for simple products. When we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been talking about, we started off just basically calling out the hypocrisy of the left lately. You've got people that they voted for the man who granted immunity to Gina Haspel, and now they're mad that she's getting another promotion because it's a Republican giving her the promotion instead of a Democrat. Because I'm 100% convinced that had Hillary won, Gina Haspel, as the assistant director of the CIA, would have been promoted to director position anyway. But since Hillary was appointing Gina,
yeah, and she would have been praised by the media and by the American public as being, the first woman.
Smash the patriarchy, None of the stuff that we're hearing about the fact that she was involved in the destruction of the evidence on torture, none of that would even be mentioned. It would be, go girl, it's her turn, I'm with her, smash the patriarchy. That's what it would be. Even though it's two old white women running things instead of two old white men running things, because somehow that's so much different. Because old white men never do anything because they want to get old white women to shut up or open their legs. What? Damn, was that a little too blunt?
Can we not make references to opening legs with Hillary Clinton, please?
Or Gina Haspel? What was that thing that Frankie Boyle got kicked out? Oh, something about like ghosts in the vagina is haunted. Stay out of there, guys. It's haunted.
The Queen's.
Yeah, the Queen's vagina is haunted. When she farts, when she queefs, dust comes out.
God, what are we even talking about right now?
I don't know. We started off making fun of Hillary and Gina Haspel, and it kind of went off the rails for a half of a second there. I don't know. Anyway,
and in case you missed it, Will got on me a while ago for a mere "That's what she said."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then the next segment, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I know.
How you doing down there, Baptist Radio in Texas?
Right. Anyway, so that took us into this Iran deal and how somehow Israel can fire missiles at Syria, and when Syria fires missiles back at Israel, that's the point where Israel needs to defend itself, and somehow the Syrian army firing missiles at Syria it has something to do with Iran.
This is awesome. This is my favorite sentence that I've read about this.
Yeah.
Israel had been expecting an Iranian response for some time following a series of military strikes in Syria that targeted Iranian positions. Okay, so that means that Israel was targeting Iranian positions in Syria. Syria and Iran blamed those strikes on Israel, and it says Iran's leaders vowed revenge. I thought it said Israel's leaders vowed revenge. Oh man. Okay, I misread it.
Either way, it's still hilarious because they're like,
yeah, right.
Israel has been waiting for Iran to retaliate because we've been firing missiles at them for 3 weeks. Why won't they do anything back to us?
Right, like we've been waiting patiently for them to retaliate.
Isn't that the argument against Hamas? Isn't that the argument I always hear against Hamas? Who would allow missiles to fall on their country unresponsed to? Isn't that what Netanyahu's always hollering on TV? We must defend ourselves. Like they fire missile at our country. Well, yeah, but like you fire missiles at all the countries around you for 3 weeks solid, and that's not the same. Wait, what? I'm confused. Aren't you?
Yep.
I remember what I wanted to talk about yesterday was Netanyahu. I've got all these queued up, actually. I may as well just play these now.
These weapons of destruction, these missiles, these chemical weapons, the nuclear program that is fast accelerating in Iraq, that these do not pose a threat in the aftermath of the crisis.
Did he say Iraq?
Assuming he gets...
Yeah, that was Benjamin Netanyahu telling us in the 90s about Saddam Hussein's nuclear program. Oh, wait, though. This is
the one that didn't exist.
Yeah, the one that didn't exist. Wait, I've got his greatest hits here. Here's him again in 1998. Hold on. Come on, man. What's taking so long?
The question is, who poses the biggest threat? Much talk in the United States about a better relationship with Iran. What do you think of that? What do you think of the fact that...
I love how he asks the question. What do you think of that, huh? You got something to say about that. You tell our listeners how angry you are that we're going to be friends with Iran because, you know what, I'm a staunch Zionist, and I think friendship with Iran is a terrible idea. So I need you to tell our listeners why that is.
The fact that you might die of malaria doesn't mean that you want to die of pneumonia. We have two threats. One of them, you're quite right, we focus on is beyond the horizon in the form of these rogue regimes like Iraq or Iran that are feverishly arming themselves with ballistic weapon missiles or non-conventional weapons, biological or atomic warheads, which they're trying to secure. And that is
So that's Bibi Netanyahu in 1998.
So I mean, he's been saying this crap for 20 years.
Oh, wait a second, though. I told you, we got the greatest hits here, babe. We got the greatest hits.
Whatsoever that Saddam is seeking.
Hold on. Let's get back. You got to hear the very first words. The very, very first words of that statement. That's what makes it so funny.
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever.
That again, that's Bibi Netanyahu in 2002. So, yeah. He says today that Iran is trying to get a nuclear weapon.
No, I really think we should believe him, probably.
For real?
Because
I mean, he definitely sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Very much so.
He does.
Very much.
He does. And, I keep hearing that, like, oh, well, Hillary wouldn't have done this. It's because...
I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran.
Well, damn. I guess she blew that whole argument out of the water. I'll be a son of a bitch.
Was that Hillary?
That was Hillary.
I'm not sure who it was, but it sounded an awful lot like she was wearing a brightly colored pantsuit.
That was Hillary on 60 Minutes on national television.
I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran.
So that means...
I can barely hear her over the dust coming out of her vagina.
No.
It's haunted by all the Muslim children that she rubber stamped the drone bombing of while she was at the head of the Department of State.
No,
Please don't say Hillary and
dark.
rubber in the same sentence.
Don't just all the words in the sentence that are in the same sentence.
All the
a lot
words
of words that are in the same sentence.
All the words, they hurt my ears.
And I want them to understand that, because it does mean that they have to look very carefully at their society.
See, you're not like us. You should look very carefully at yourselves, because Israel doesn't like you, and I like Israel, so you need to make sure.
And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran.
So there we go, guys.
How is that a thing that you say? When did she say this?
That was in July of 2008.
So it was before she said, "We came, we saw, he died."
Yes, that was before she said we came, we saw, he died.
Jeez.
This is the better than Trump, so supposedly though. Like if we had just elected her, then like I said, Gina Haspel being appointed to the position she's been appointed to would just be women's empowerment. It wouldn't be rewarding a torturer. It would be smashing the patriarchy. And if it was Hillary who was pulling out of the Iran deal to kiss Israel and Saudi Arabia's ass, it wouldn't be this horrible thing that it is because the Republicans are doing it. No, it would be painted with daisies and flowers and peace signs, and the nuke that we drop on Tehran while Trump's in office may be bad, but if Hillary did it, it would be a nuclear bomb of sunshine and roses, because that's how democracy works.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeen.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeen.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 10th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,319 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $36, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,337. Antiwar.com reports the Pentagon is seeking private contractors to provide medical evacuation services to U.S. ground troops operating inside Yemen. This solicitation began at the end of April and seeks 4 fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft capable of providing services and having ballistic protection systems. This comes amid recent revelations that the U.S. has Green Berets operating along the Yemen-Saudi Arabia border, despite the Pentagon long maintaining their role in Yemen did not involve combat troops. In addition to these troops, the Pentagon is known to have special forces operating in Yemen against al-Qaeda. U.S. Transportation Command wants this to cover not only Yemen, but nearby countries in the Horn of Africa. In practice, this likely just means Somalia, where a number of U.S. troops are present. The reliance on contractors for these services are controversial. The Pentagon has long handled time-sensitive things like evacuation of casualties. As U.S. forces spread across more and more countries in smaller numbers, however, the Pentagon is finding itself short of capacity and is looking to make this up with contractors. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports after a vote by the state's Energy Commission on Wednesday, California became the first state to require all new homes to be built with solar panels. The California Energy Commission voted unanimously 5-0 to add the requirement to the state's building code. It goes into effect January 1st, 2020 and includes all condominiums and apartment buildings up to 3 stories high. Some buildings will be eligible for exemptions from the requirement, including those shaded by trees or with roofs too small to accommodate a solar photovoltaic system. The CEC estimates the move will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 700,000 metric tons over the course of 3 years. Commissioner Andrew McAllister said the case for this was extremely strong. In California, we do believe in climate change, we do believe in facts. It's become clear to us that it's the right thing to do and the marketplace is ready. Currently, about 15,000 new homes built in California each year have solar panel installations. The new rule is expected to increase that number to 80,000. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the National Transportation Safety Board said on Wednesday it will investigate a Tesla accident in Fort Lauderdale, Florida this week that killed 2 teenagers and injured another, the agency's 4th active probe into crashes of the company's electric vehicles. The NTSB said it was sending a team of 4 to investigate Tuesday's crash of a 2014 Tesla Model S that was reportedly traveling at high speed when it struck a wall and caught fire. The agency said it does not believe the Tesla semi-autonomous autopilot system will be part of the investigation. The NTSB said this investigation is primarily focused on emergency response in relation to the electric vehicle battery fire, including fire department activities and towing operations. A preliminary investigation showed the Tesla drove off the road and hit a concrete wall, immediately catching fire, according to the Fort Lauderdale Police Department in a statement. Police said the speed of the vehicle is believed to have been a factor in the crash. The new investigation adds to an already contentious relationship between Tesla and the NTSB. Last month, Tesla launched out at the NTSB after it took the unusual step of removing the automaker from the investigation of a fatal crash in March in which a Tesla vehicle's driver assistance autopilot system was in use. The NTSB defended the decision, saying Tesla released investigative information prematurely and in violation of procedure. Tesla, in return, blasted the NTSB, saying the board was more concerned with press headlines than actually promoting safety. It accused the agency of violating its own rules while trying to prevent Tesla from disclosing all of the facts. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
After logging onto the Xbox One game console at one of his classmates' homes, 12-year-old Michael Cutler admitted to reporters this week that he really does not have the slightest clue about what his friend's name could be.
I mean, his name might be Brian. No, wait, Brian's my other friend, the one with the PS4. Yeah, if I'm being totally honest, there's no way I can tell you his name. Not a chance.
Noting that the boy had, quote, an absolutely huge HD TV and a bunch of games his mom won't let him play, Cutler confirmed that he could recall only the faintest details about his friend, including the fact that his mother makes chocolate chip cookies and that he has a dog of some kind.
He's got Killer Instinct, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield 4, and Titanfall? Man, that game's awesome. Anyway, I've just been calling him Flamethrower because that's his gamer tag. Hopefully he doesn't catch on. Hey, can I stick around for a few more hours? I'm so close to beating this.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold!
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com on the Call to Freedom.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live here from the Bitcoin Studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been talking about, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into this. Right now, it's down to just me and Aria DiMezzo, the Queen of Crypto herself from cryptocurrencycheck.org. And we are moving right along into our Crypto Hour portion of the broadcast on this Thursday afternoon live drive home show. And we've been covering over the last week or so the, Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, and his, childish schoolyard type shots that he's taken at cryptocurrency over the course of the last week or so, he and his second in command. Well, today we're bringing shots fired back. Buffett, a Warren Buffett disciple, has come out and condemned the investors' views on Bitcoin. Venture capitalist Chamath Palihapitiya has countered billionaire Warren Buffett's recent derogatory statements on Bitcoin, stating that cryptocurrency is important. His comments come after Buffett, the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, argued that Bitcoin is more of a gamble than an investment. And at the end of April, wow, sinuses got me sounding like I'm a cokehead over here. At the end of April last week, at a shareholders meeting, he said Bitcoin is probably rat poison squared. While calling himself a Buffett disciple, Palihapitiya told CNBC that Buffett's wrong about Bitcoin. Not everyone's right all the time, he told the news source, further suggesting that knowledge about technology is not in Buffett's, quote, circle of competence. Palihapitiya, a former Facebook and AOL executive, went on to push for the cryptocurrency's benefits, saying that it's a replacement to gold and, quote, something like Bitcoin's really important because it's not correlated to the rest of the market. Speaking about the financial crisis, he said that, quote, things that we thought were hedges went away and broke down. Bitcoin is viewed as providing a hedge to traditional finance by those who have owned the digital currency. So there you go. Your first.
I mean, that was a really polite way of saying he has no idea what in the world he's talking about.
Well, yeah, it reminded me kind of like when you see these big name sheikhs from like the Islamic Supreme Council of Kazakhstan, and they come out and they're like Bitcoin's haram. And I'm like, you know, you don't even know what a hash rate is. How are you telling people that something is forbidden and can send you to hell when you don't even, like, what's a Satoshi? You don't know? What's a Lyra 2 mining algorithm? Nothing, huh? Okay. You don't know what a hash rate. Oh, how about this? What's an NVIDIA card?
What is a block?
What's a block?
What is a cryptocurrency?
Is there a difference in a cryptocurrency and an Ethereum token? Yes? No?
Well, we had a hard time answering that one.
Right?
I mean, we had on ERC20 token people who had a hard time answering it.
Right? So, finally, we have someone coming out and saying, you know what? Sorry, dude. I understand you're the Oracle of Omaha, and you're supposed to be like this grand poobah of, finance and investment and all this other. But the truth is, you're just, you can.
This does not fall inside your circle of competence.
Yeah, this is just you're not here. Oh! Check it out. I think we've got some audio of it.
I thought that Buffett softened his tone on Bitcoin anyway.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We had some folks that some people know on our show earlier this week. Becky was out in Omaha. I want to show you what they had to say if we could roll the tape on Bitcoin from Mr. Munger and Mr. Buffett.
The asset itself is creating nothing. I think it's a scumball activity.
I would short it if there was an easy way to do it.
So there you have it. You have Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. One of them was calling it a scumball activity. The other saying, Bill Gates saying he would short this thing if he could. And you're saying they're all wrong.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, look, not everybody is right all the time. And I think we have to acknowledge that we all have biases. And look, I'm a disciple of Buffett and Munger. And one of the things that they have said for years, which I believe, is you define a circle of competence and you stay within it. And I think it's been clear in his entire investing career that technology is not in his circle of competence. And so the only technology name that he's owned is Apple. I mean, you could claim that IBM was a technology company. That's borderline.
It's out of that. That didn't work anyway.
Right.
And Apple, I was thinking that if he got in Bitcoin, if he eventually got in Bitcoin, when he eventually got into Apple, it'd already be at $1 million probably.
Probably.
But Chamath, just going back to this, I don't think he looks at it as a technology. I think he looks at it as an asset class that he would put in a similar class with gold. Just it's a non-productive asset. It's an asset that is only worth more if other people agree to pay more for it. That's the type of issue that
Which I also agree with. I think it is exactly that. I think it is a replacement to gold. But again...
But you like gold. You're saying you like non-productive assets.
I like in a portfolio. Again, my portfolio is 99% risk on, 1% risk off. And in that 1% risk off bucket, I think that something like Bitcoin is really important. Why? Because it is not correlated to the rest of the market. And the biggest thing that's changed...
You don't believe that the success of Bitcoin over the past several years has been correlated to the market? I would say not directly correlated, but clearly the idea that there's as much liquidity and cash sloshing around in the world has allowed people to buy into Bitcoin in a way that they wouldn't have, frankly, if the market...
That's different than being correlated to a strong
I
economy
know.
or earnings.
But there is
that's a liquidity argument. That's not a correlation.
I've been in the Bitcoin market since 2012. And I feel like I'm in two different universes. I need a passport to go between the Bitcoin world and my regular world. These are not the same people.
We'll be back in just a moment.
And what I would tell you is the people that owned Bitcoin in 2012 all the way up to now...
Damn it. Oh, that's not one.
Majority of those people view it as a hedge to the traditional financial infrastructure. Whether that's true or not is unclear, but that's how we've all viewed it. Separately, what Joe says is absolutely right. There's a big difference between correlation and liquidity. And the reality is all of these financial assets in the traditional markets are fundamentally correlated. We saw that in 2007. Everything broke down. Things that we thought were hedges went away. And so I think it's really important to not forget what happened there. So in 2018 or 19, heaven forbid we go through another cataclysmic financial event, we are going to see the same fundamental correlation. And so again, I ask, why would it not make sense to have a non-correlated hedge?
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
For a small amount of, this is about buying insurance. It was the same reason why in 2007 and 8 the folks that bought simple insurance bought some CDS.
You might as well buy gold. I mean, at least gold's got a 3,000-year, 10,000-year record of being a store of value. I mean, I think that's the other thing Buffett's saying. There's no reason to think this is a store of value.
I think that's a fair point, but I think these are not exclusive decisions. And, you know, for this younger class of entrant into the market, they probably don't want to buy gold. In fact, they don't want to buy gold, and they want to buy something that's much more digital and reflective of their values.
How do you feel, though, about the idea that Charlie sort of suggested, that there's something sort of scummy about that, or that there's a lot of scum in the crypto world right now, and that there's a lot of people who have been sort of sucked into this world, that have bought into this world by some folks who may not be as...
Look, I think it's really unfair to not understand something and then to disparage it. Again, I think he's exceptional. I think Warren Buffett is exceptional. I think Bill Gates is exceptional at what they do. And I think it's fair to say that in 30 or 40 years, if I'm, you know, a vibrant, successful investor, and if I'm back on this show, the idea that I know what's happening 30 or 40 years from now, as well as some other new 40-year-old or 30-year-old entrant into the market, is just not true. The reality is things change.
And there you have it. Finally, somebody who's, you know, in the venture capitalist world who finally gets it. You know, I would argue that, what's his name? Roger Ver is a venture capitalist. Put a lot of his own money in before he knew anything was going to do anything. So
I don't know if I would go that far as to call him a venture capitalist, but
well,
it's certainly
he's a serious
refreshing.
Crypto investor.
Yeah.
Him,
well, I don't
Bruce
know.
Fenton,
For all we know, he put in like $15 back when it was a penny each.
Right. Bruce Fenton is another one. But I'm just glad to see finally you've got people that they live in the financial world, And they're finally acknowledging, look, all the people that are complaining about this, they're all old folks. Like, they're people, they don't understand the technology. These are people that 25, 30 years ago were saying that the internet would have no more of an effect on the economy than the Xerox machine. So I mean, really, do they really know as much as we try to give them credit for? Honestly, let's just be honest. We look at their past successes and decide that they know everything about the future as well. It's like you see this in a lot of these polemic circles, where like you've got a guy, he's got a master's degree in physics, but people want to listen to him lecture about theology like he's an expert.
Well, I mean, we came very close to that with Stephen Hawking telling everybody that capitalism was going to destroy the world and we needed a world government to save us from the evils of capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant when it comes to physics. Total, absolute, uneducated moron.
When it comes to everything else.
When it came to economics.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, anyway, moving right along, here on Call to Freedom, we talk a lot about security. Especially when we're discussing Crypto Hour. One of our sponsors that we're, any day now we should have the signed contract in hand is Zencash. They do full privatized contracts. I love that. We talk about Verge a lot, which is another coin that's devoted to privacy. But there's also another one called Zcash. And, well, seems Zcash can...
Didn't Verge get a little buddy-buddy with Ripple?
They did. It was TokenPay.
TokenPay. Well, same thing.
Yeah. Verge is now getting very buddy-buddy with TokenPay. And Zcash has, well, it looks like there may be some holes in their security. So, I'm very, very slowly whittling my security coin holdings down to nothing but Zcash. This coming from CoinDesk. Zcash privacy can be weakened by certain behaviors. Researchers have identified patterns in certain kinds of Zcash transactions that weaken their anonymity, according to a paper that was published Tuesday. George Kapos, Haroon Youssef, Mary Mahler, and Sarah Michaeljohn found that when coins move from unshielded to shielded and back to unshielded addresses, they lose much of the anonymity that Zcash users expect. The University College London team wrote that their, quote, relatively simple heuristics reduced the size of the overall anonymity set by 69.1%. Wow. That is substantial. That's over 2/3.
Well, I mean, it sounds like the whole pseudonymous browsing thing where, you can identify people based on their browsing habits, even if they're signed in anonymously.
Yeah.
Like people who don't sign in when they go to search for things on Google, you can still identify them by just, tracking what they're actually searching for and synchronizing that to them on Facebook.
Yes. Well, this says here that, Zcash is one of the most prominent and well-regarded privacy coins. And it offers two different kinds of addresses. T addresses are transparent or completely unshielded. That means that they work just like Bitcoin. Their balances and transactions are publicly visible on the blockchain. Then you have Z addresses. Now, those are shielding, and that means that the balances and transactions are supposed to be invisible. Transactions, however, from one unshielded address to another are completely public if pseudonymous. It's so hard. Pseudonym, something to do with pseudonyms.
Pseudonym. No, I can't do it. I said it in my head right before I opened my mouth.
It's like Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know why they're like, I'm going to use this huge word that most people can't properly pronounce.
Pseudonymous.
Thank you. As in Bitcoin. Or they could have just said Transactions from one unshielded address to another with Zcash function the same way they do with Bitcoin. Would have been a lot easier, right?
I mean, isn't that how it's designed, though? The unshielded ones
Exactly.
aren't meant to be?
Well, let's see. Your transactions from one shielded address to another are almost completely invisible, allowing only timestamps and fees associated with mining. Transactions between different types of addresses introduce complications, however. See, it's possible to glean some information about Z addresses involved. That makes it possible to glean information about Z addresses that are involved, according to this study. Now, how exactly that works, we're going to get into when we get back. Or, of course, you're welcome to call in with your thoughts as well at 603-283-6160. We'll be right back here on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Good morning. Later this afternoon, I will be engaging in an extramarital affair. Of course, I will wish that I had never made the horrible mistake I'm about to spend several hours making, but sadly, I'm currently too blinded by greed and lust to care about or consider the consequences of my actions. The liaison I will be taking part in shortly with two poor deaf teenage runaways is in direct opposition to the values you elected me to uphold. I also wish to apologize to my wife, Linda, to my two beautiful children, Allison and Christopher. It hurts me more than you will ever know that this scandal will impact your life so terribly. I can only pray that the revelations you will soon hear concerning my fetishes, physical flexibility, and penis will not scar you to the point of dementia. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get to the hotel immediately, so I will not be taking questions. Thank you.
This is the Onion News Network.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government, the real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार के क्रिप्टो आवर को, जिसके प्रस्तुत करता है Helium.com.
Laid it on the line. I won't slave for beggars' pain, likewise gold and jewels, but I would slave to learn the way, sink your ship of fools, ship of fools.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So, awesome. Thank you, Nat Dog. I'm sure I do have something in my beard. Trying to eat while I'm on the air. Anyway, we've been talking here about Zcash and how certain things that you do while you're using Zcash can actually lower the whole privacy aspect of the coin. That there are certain kinds of behaviors when using the coin that all of the anonymous private contract portion of the coin is completely useless. But we also, we give out the number because we love having people call into the show. Right now we've got Anthony. He's stuck in traffic listening to us in Miami. How you doing today, Anthony?
Not too bad. Done for the day, finally.
Right. So what do you think, and why do you think it?
Well, I had gotten into the crypto thing back in December. I had a chance to get a bunch of Bitcoin. I've been listening to Free Talk Live off and on over the past, 10, 15 years or however long, I think like 2003 or whatever. And I had a chance to get into Bitcoin, and I was an idiot. I couldn't wrap my head around it back then. But now I put in like $30. I bought some Bitcoin like an idiot, but it turned out that there was a big pump and dump yesterday, I guess. And I was able to make like $900 off of $30 that I put in. And then I'm looking to invest in some coins. I was looking at Tron for the whole thing of the Internet 4.0, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. And I'm also going to start doing some web content. I was wondering what you guys thought of Steam.io.
Aria? I know you have opinions on Steam.
What was the coin he asked about?
Steam, first of all. He was asking about Steam and Tron.
Steam, as in Valve Steam?
Steam, as in the web... Steam.io, the web content.
Steam it?
Steam it. Yes, that one.
Well, in my experience, it's a great idea, but it seems to attract a type of writer who is overly fond of being unnecessarily verbose and writing at length really simple things, making them as wordy as possible, as though they get paid by the word when they don't. It's sort of a cryptocurrency tip type of thing.
Oh, like the CoinDesk article that we were just reading, where they just throw big words in there in the middle of sentences where they were explaining the exact same thing without it?
Yeah, when I ran anarchistgmail.com, I wrote about this on 3 separate occasions, this tendency of anarchists, voluntarists particularly, to sound more like Benjamin Franklin than Thomas Paine. And if you're familiar with the writings of Benjamin Franklin, you'll know what I'm referring to. He was the wordiest person you'll ever meet. Horrible, horrible writer.
They're all
totally
wannabe Stephen Kings. Stephen King's the same way.
Yeah. And he would take 150 words to say something that could be conveyed in 15. And that seems to be what populates Steemit. As an idea, it's great, but it needs writers on there who are not unnecessarily complicated.
Right.
Trying to sound intelligent. They're trying to pull a sort of intellectual magician's trick where they sound really impressive, so people who read it think, oh, well, they must know what they're talking about, instead of actually putting forward solid arguments that people can understand. They're just supposed to, and yeah, that will work for the person who's smart enough to understand the words, but not smart enough to understand that they're not all needed, and that it's one of the worst possible ways to convey what the author was trying to convey.
Now, what about Tron?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I haven't really. It's not one of those things, like, I don't jump on coins because it's moving a lot, you know, like everybody's talking about. Like, I don't really care. I'm a more, for me, my coin investments are a lot more philosophical than they are, you know, like I have some things, you know, when the market's moving that I'll use, and I watch for patterns. That's my main thing. When I used to do a lot of day trading last year, I was a pattern watcher. I would watch coins, and I would notice that that there would be these fluctuation patterns where, in the course of 3 weeks, a coin would go from around this price to this other price, and then would drop back down, and then would go back up, and then, but there would be like $2 to $5 per swing fluctuations. Something that if you could buy 100 coins of whatever it was, that you could make $500 or $600 off of this fluctuation every time it happened if you paid attention. But with the market slowing down the way that it has, you're not seeing those major fluctuations in some of these coins, and the patterns are all reset. You're gonna have to wait until another bull market gets moving and watch for those patterns again. Or at least that's what I plan to do. Until then, you know, I personally really like Digibytes. They're an investment that hasn't done me wrong. I haven't made a bunch of money, you know, but they also have maintained a value that's not changed very much throughout the entirety of the crash. You know, I bought them at 3. They went up to 5. During the crash, they went back to 3. Now they're back at 4. You know, like, there's just really not this huge fluctuation. And so that's basically, I've got some money. I got some of, you know, we've got some of the mosque's money there. A lot of investment in privacy coins, because I personally believe privacy coins are the future, because the whole point of Bitcoin was privacy. And as people realize that it's not as private as they thought it was, they're going to seek out more private options. And that's why I'm, you know, Monero, Zencash, Zcash, Verge, you know, I personally put investment into those. Again, though, that's a totally philosophical thing, though. So, I mean, if you wanted advice, again, this, as you hear at the beginning of every crypto hour, this isn't legally licensed financial advice. If I had money and I was buying, Zencash is down this week, I would buy Zencash. Digibytes are down a little from where they've been the last few weeks. So is Verge. Those are coins I personally would buy. But, you know, you do whatever, you know, again, you always have to do the research and the due diligence yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're just some guy on the radio.
Exactly.
Now I know where to look.
I'm some jackass on the radio with an opinion. Basically. Okay. So, but for me, privacy coins are the way to go. But that's just my personal thing. A lot of people are buying Ripple. You know, people are making really good money on Ripple, but philosophically, I wouldn't take Ripple if you gave it to me for free. Just because I don't like what Ripple represents, which is getting the big banks and the crypto industry kind of working together. And that's just like, I wanted the crypto industry to do away with the big banks, not become another tool of theirs.
Okay. Now, if I got one more question regarding the Steemit. I mean, so you guys are saying that the writers that blog on there, but I'm thinking more because I guess that the whole thing is they give you the coins and tokens or what have you for putting content up there. Because I was thinking of just reposting stuff that I do for my business.
All right, well, we'll get.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom, brought to you by Helium.com. Unasikiliza Crypto Hour inayohusu wito wa uhuru, imeletwa kwako na Helium.com.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you kill the faucet, be color-fied to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
That's right. It's the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, you know what, folks? These days it is nearly impossible to keep your secured communications, well, secure. I mean, we were just talking about the thing with Zcash where, you know, if you move from one wallet to the other and then back again, like all your security is just gone right then and there. Well, see, these days, you know, the government, they've got so many other tools in their toolbox besides just being able to sit and watch you move stuff around. They can subpoena. They can subpoena businesses, demand all the personal information that they hold. Or, as we've seen in places like Turkey, Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Israel even. You can, well, Israel's figured out you just shut the internet off altogether. But these other countries, you know, they just
Just don't write any poetry and you'll be all right.
Shut some servers down. Boom. No communication whatsoever. Well, that's where CryptVisor comes in. You see, it's a decentralized, no information kept, secured communication platform that's hosted on the blockchain. See, if the feds come snooping around or some government wanting information, well, there's no phone numbers, no names, no email addresses, no IP addresses, nothing that CryptVisor keeps. And if they come around and they want to shut down a server, well, you know what? CryptVisor's hosted on the blockchain. That means thousands upon thousands of nodes all across the globe. So unless they can shut the internet off altogether, they're not going to shut down your communication. So go over to cryptvisor.network. Check out their new advanced security features and the CVPay crypto wallet. Again, that's cryptvisor.network, your home for advanced secured communication. Now, we've got on the line with us Anthony. He is calling us. He's listening in Miami and stuck in traffic. And we've been having a conversation about he's done a little trading, and like many have, he's made himself a little money, and he's ready to move that money into another investment, another idea. And he was also asking about the possibility of using Steemit. Now, could you explain to Arya a little bit again about exactly what you mean for like using Steemit?
Well, it's very similar to.
Hold on, Arya. He's explaining to you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Because I've noticed that there's in the niche of my business, there's not really anything in there, and I was just possibly going to blog and connect my WordPress blog to it, to try to make a little extra crypto and some tokens because they offer some stuff for content creators. And,
yeah, there's definitely no reason not to do it. I mean, you can't make the content there any worse.
Yeah, because that's pretty sparse. It's pretty, yeah, you were right about everything being verbose. There's not really anything good on there.
What about library,
so, I mean,
Arya? Would library work for what he wants to do, you think?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when we went out to break, is that library and Steemit are very similar in terms of concepts, with the difference being that library is primarily just doing videos these days. I mean, yeah, you can put writings and music and all kinds of things on there besides just videos, but if you want to actually reach people, it would be the equivalent of putting a text article up on YouTube. No one's going to read it.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, I was just trying to combine everything with YouTube and all that stuff. And finally, I don't want to keep you guys for too long. What are some good sites that you guys would recommend for crypto research other than the actual coin sites? I found the Merkle, and that one seems interesting.
Oh, I do a lot of my my research for the show at places like news.bitcoin.com or CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, stuff like that.
Okay.
You could also go. It's called Bad Crypto Podcast. On their website, they have. It's kind of like a crypto community bulletin board where people bring in interesting stories from all different kinds of media outlets all across the web. And that's a really good source. I like to go there and just kind of look through the stuff that their listening community has posted. I compare it to, Free Talk Live on their website, the content you control, like where you could submit stories and then Free Talk Live would talk about those stories based on like upvotes and stuff like that on the website. It's similar. Yeah. It's a similar kind of thing to that, where you go in there and you're finding all kinds of stories about the cryptocurrency world, or about cryptography, or like CryptVisor, that kind of thing. Like cryptographic communication, just anything that has to do with the encrypted space. And I think it's a great, and that's a little plug for you guys over there at Bad Crypto Podcast, because we know there are listeners here of our show as well. So, I would check them as well.
All right, cool. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. You have a great day. It's good to hear from you, Anthony.
You too.
Hopefully traffic down there in Miami lets up. I know what it's like. So
I just got home, so I'm out of it.
Right, lucky you. I remember I used to drive. I used to ride with a truck driver who delivered flowers all over the Southeast. And one of the things that we always remembered about Miami was the rich white girls who drove around with no underwear on, because they would show you that they were not wearing any. And it was like this.
Where did this happen at?
Miami. When I was in Miami, I used to ride with this truck driver.
So why isn't Pork Fest held in Miami?
Right? But like, you're way up high, right? And we'd be stuck in traffic, because if you drive in Miami, at some point, no matter what time of the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you're in Miami, you're in traffic at some point. And we'd be stuck in traffic, and it's 9,000 degrees. The paint's peeling off the front of the truck, and you're just sitting there. And the guy driving the truck, Kenny, would be like, "Hey, Jit, hey, come look at this." And you get up and you go over and look, and it's like a super rich white girl. She's driving like a Ferrari with the top down. You know what I'm saying? Like the most expensive car you could think of. It's got a soft top, the top's down. She's got her stereo on, and she's got these big glasses and big hair and gold jewelry, and her foot up on the dashboard with some super high cut Armani skirt, and nothing at all left to the imagination. And then she catches you looking and kind of readjusts herself in her seat a little bit, and kind of looks and smiles at you and revs the engine. And you're just like, oh my God. Well, that's like a normal thing to see when you're in Miami, though. Like, it would just be like, we knew at least once while we were in Miami, or that, the Miami metro area, some super rich white girl would flash you her coochie. Without fail.
That sounds like a great place to live.
I'm convinced that they would do that on purpose. That it wasn't like a, oh, oops, you saw me, I wasn't thinking. No, like, they're sitting there with their foot up on the dashboard. Like, there is no, like, I'm trying to hide this. I'm pointing it out my window at you. Oops, I'm so sorry. How horrible of me. Anyway, as we were saying with the Zcash thing, don't send. Don't send. Hey, he said something about mine. It took me completely off. It's valuable to understand how much privacy is lost when using shielded addresses as a pass-through mechanism, and using it in a way that's not recommended. Instead, store your Zcash in shielded addresses. Only use shielded addresses, and once you move them into a shielded address, do not move them out of a shielded address. It's better to do whatever you can to make sure that they are always in a shielded address. Using unshielded addresses as a go-between is not effective. It's not effective at all. It basically kills 2/3 of the privacy that you've maintained. So please, Zcash users, Zcash users, Zclassic users out there, take note. Don't be using unsecured addresses. Come on. This should be no-brainer stuff, guys.
When commercials come on, don't push the button. Instead, listen. Even if you don't sell things for a living, you're still selling in the various conversations and transactions that make up your busy day. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. So take a lesson from Madison Avenue. Often the fewer words, the more effective the message. Like Jiffy Lube, where you never need an appointment, or the Office Max ad that says, you supply the ambition, we supply everything else. How about online ticket broker StubHub.com, the way in when it's sold out, or CyberCupid Match.com's seductive, go ahead, it's okay to look. How cleverly and succinctly can you distill your message? For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, May 10th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,319 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $36, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,337. Antiwar.com reports the Pentagon is seeking private contractors to provide medical evacuation services to U.S. ground troops operating inside Yemen. This solicitation began at the end of April and seeks 4 fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft capable of providing services and having ballistic protection systems. This comes amid recent revelations that the U.S. has Green Berets operating along the Yemen-Saudi Arabia border, despite the Pentagon long maintaining their role in Yemen did not involve combat troops. In addition to these troops, the Pentagon is known to have special forces operating in Yemen against al-Qaeda. U.S. Transportation Command wants this to cover not only Yemen, but nearby countries in the Horn of Africa. In practice, this likely just means Somalia, where a number of U.S. troops are present. The reliance on contractors for these services are controversial. The Pentagon has long handled time-sensitive things like evacuation of casualties. As U.S. forces spread across more and more countries in smaller numbers, however, the Pentagon is finding itself short of capacity and is looking to make this up with contractors. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports after a vote by the state's Energy Commission on Wednesday, California became the first state to require all new homes to be built with solar panels. The California Energy Commission voted unanimously 5-0 to add the requirement to the state's building code. It goes into effect January 1st, 2020 and includes all condominiums and apartment buildings up to 3 stories high. Some buildings will be eligible for exemptions from the requirement, including those shaded by trees or with roofs too small to accommodate a solar photovoltaic system. The CEC estimates the move will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 700,000 metric tons over the course of 3 years. Commissioner Andrew McAllister said the case for this was extremely strong. In California, we do believe in climate change, we do believe in facts. It's become clear to us that it's the right thing to do and the marketplace is ready. Currently, about 15,000 new homes built in California each year have solar panel installations. The new rule is expected to increase that number to 80,000. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the National Transportation Safety Board said on Wednesday it will investigate a Tesla accident in Fort Lauderdale, Florida this week that killed 2 teenagers and injured another, the agency's 4th active probe into crashes of the company's electric vehicles. The NTSB said it was sending a team of 4 to investigate Tuesday's crash of a 2014 Tesla Model S that was reportedly traveling at high speed when it struck a wall and caught fire. The agency said it does not believe the Tesla semi-autonomous autopilot system will be part of the investigation. The NTSB said this investigation is primarily focused on emergency response in relation to the electric vehicle battery fire, including fire department activities and towing operations. A preliminary investigation showed the Tesla drove off the road and hit a concrete wall, immediately catching fire, according to the Fort Lauderdale Police Department in a statement. Police said the speed of the vehicle is believed to have been a factor in the crash. The new investigation adds to an already contentious relationship between Tesla and the NTSB. Last month, Tesla launched out at the NTSB after it took the unusual step of removing the automaker from the investigation of a fatal crash in March in which a Tesla vehicle's driver assistance autopilot system was in use. The NTSB defended the decision, saying Tesla released investigative information prematurely and in violation of procedure. Tesla, in return, blasted the NTSB, saying the board was more concerned with press headlines than actually promoting safety. It accused the agency of violating its own rules while trying to prevent Tesla from disclosing all of the facts. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Several weeks after the car accident that resulted in the death of his longtime friend Matthew Abrams, local man Keith Bisbee told Onion reporters today that he isn't sure how much longer he should continue using the photo of his deceased friend as his profile picture on Facebook.
People can't really expect me to keep this up forever, right?
Bisbee told reporters he felt like he had done more than his part to preserve the young man's memory. Bisbee added, however, that he had no idea when to go about changing his profile picture.
I'm pretty sure nobody would judge me if I went ahead and changed the photo right now. Matt wouldn't expect me to still have a picture of him up. I mean, I wouldn't expect that of him. You know, I should just do it. Maybe I can go online later tonight when nobody's on. But his girlfriend gets home late from work. I don't really want to seem disrespectful. Maybe I could do it tomorrow morning, or...
At this time, Bisbee has reluctantly changed his profile picture to an image of a gay rights equal sign and is, quote, just waiting to see what happens next.
This is the Onion News Network.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell into a ring of fire.
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is another beautiful day here in the Shire. We've got a little controversy that we're going to be covering today. We have a guest who is with us now. We do have Xavier on with us. He is from the Republican Liberty Caucus of Minnesota. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it turns out that his organization has created a little bit of controversy in the last few weeks. And, I've listened to some of the radio interviews and laughed and read some of the articles and was not surprised. And I figured since I'm going to be there with you tomorrow, we should have you on the show to tell us about the event. So tell us a little about the upcoming Republican Liberty Caucus convention there in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Bloomington, yep. Technically, you can call it Minneapolis. It's close enough, but it is different. So thanks for having me. And it's actually Saturday when you'll be joining us. Saturday is the convention.
And my flight doesn't land till midnight, so technically I won't be there until Saturday either.
All right, so I am the chairman of Xavier Bickett, chairman of the Republican Liberty Caucus, and we are having our state convention at Al-Farouk Community Center in Bloomington. And it's the building used to be an elementary school. It was purchased. The Al-Farouk Community Center now has part of the building as a mosque, and the other part is a charter school. You know, they have gymnasiums and the cafeteria and regular old classrooms. So we'll be having our convention in one of the gyms. And, you know, you said it's controversial. I don't really look at it as being that controversial. Really, they're a neighbor who's offering us a space to use it. And, you know, it's a conversation I think it needs to happen in Minnesota where people have fear of the Muslim community, and our job is, as the Republican Liberty Caucus, is to bring them into the Republican Party through the ideas and messages and values of liberty. So that's our goal.
Very cool, very cool. Now you yourself, even though I've been reading some of the pushback, and I listened to one of the interviews you did very well, by the way, I might add.
Thank you.
And the pushback, but now you yourself, you have a history in the area, right? You have a history of liberty activism in the Minnesota community.
Sure, I've been active within the liberty movement, I guess you could call it, in Minnesota since 2012 during the Ron Paul campaign. That's when I first had my woke moment, I suppose you could say. And I was active, and then I got active in the Republican Party because of Ron Paul. I was apolitical before that. I didn't really pay attention to parties or really candidates at all. And then I got involved in the Young Republicans actually first and helped grow that organization. I saw a lot of young people leaving the Republican Party after Ron Paul left. And I didn't want that to happen. And I also wanted to stay involved in the Republican Party specifically because I wanted to have liberty candidates have a fair shot and a fair shake at the process, because I didn't think Ron did. I eventually, you know, became chairman of the Minnesota Young Republicans ending in 2016 because I was Rand Paul's regional director for his presidential campaign. I ran Minnesota, North Dakota, and Kansas, and was down in Iowa. And I also currently am the chairman of my local Republican district, which covers East Bloomington and Richfield. And this particular Islamic Community Center is in my district. And I've been developing a relationship with them since about February. And they're like, how come Republicans never come talk to us? And I'd be happy to come talk to you.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, you know what's funny? I've been doing the same thing you're doing from the opposite end since 2009. I started out with I got my start on radio, actually, with the radio show that put the Tea Party on the map. They organized the Lake Eola Tax Day Revolt, which was the first nationally televised, first national media attention receiving Tea Party event ever. And that's where I got my start, was working on that radio show. It was myself and Phil Russo, whose mother is a Syrian refugee and his father is an Italian Catholic, and she's a refugee of the Syrian civil war that happened in the 70s. Her family moved here, and then Phil was born here. And that was the very first Tea Party radio show in the U.S. It was hosted by a basically agnostic son of a Syrian refugee and a white Muslim convert. But that's where I got my start, was kind of doing that and talking to the Republican Liberty Caucus crowd, the 10th Amendment Center crowd. And that, basically evolved into my work in the libertarian and the voluntarist community. But what I find is there's a lot of times when you're doing work like this, you find yourself standing kind of like, it's like you're out on a battlefield and you're looking at the King's Army, and then you got the whole like William Wallace when the Scottish clans rode away, where you're like, yeah, and then you turn around and you're looking, you're like, oh, whoa, hey, where'd everybody go?
I try not to look at it that way. I try to look at it as people, if you believe in liberty and you believe in people allowing to do their own thing and follow their own path, I try not to think negatively about them, because there is a chance they can come back, and there's a chance that people will be by your side for another issue. And so I always look at voluntarily building coalitions. And if someone leaves you for one fight, don't be discouraged and don't try and put them down, because you may need them again for a fight in the future. And so for me, that's the way I look at it. And I always try and build coalitions and let people come and go as they please, instead of being mad at them that they didn't stick around or are very loyal for every fight I take.
Do you find that that's kind of a big problem in modern political discourse, is that you are either 100% my ally or 100% my enemy? That if we agree on most things, but we disagree on philosophically, but we disagree on one thing, then you're literally Hitler.
That is frustrating for me as an individual, because I always try to look at the big picture, and I'm always like, let's bring everyone together, right? Liberty is supposed to bring everyone together because everyone wants to live free. And so it is frustrating the way the political discourse works with that. It's like, you're either against me or for me. And they always make politics, when I say they, it's just the pundits or the media or even politicians and political parties. It's always us versus them. And that's really an unfortunate value or ideal to share, because it is completely contradicts liberty and voluntary association. If you're always saying it's us versus them, how are you ever going to get them to work together on an issue? That's really frustrating, and I've always tried to be against that.
All right, well, we're joined right now by Xavier Bacot from the Republican Liberty Caucus of Minnesota, who is holding their state convention this year at the Al Farouk Islamic Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, creating a little bit of controversy among Republicans, as you can imagine. If you want to get involved in our conversation, give us a call, 603-283-6160. You can hit us up on Discord at discord.lrn.fm or our Skype listener line at the LRN.FM studio. We'll be right back here with the Call to Freedom here in just a moment.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Catch the Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. The Call to Freedom is the only live drive-home call-in show in the U.S. with a segment devoted to cryptocurrencies. Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, live from Vertcoin Studios in New Hampshire. Learn about what makes cryptocurrencies so great and why you should care about them. Updates on new coins and ICOs, and warnings of scams. Plus, hear from traders, whales, developers, and big names in the crypto world. You can also win crypto coins or tokens every episode. Just listen for the faucet sound and be the 5th caller to get free Dash, Litecoin, Vertcoin, Verge, or other cryptocurrencies. The Call to Freedom with Will and Aria, featuring Crypto Hour. Broadcast internationally through our BitPlus network satellite. Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN FM.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm पे।
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been joined today by Xavier Bacot from the Republican Liberty Caucus of Minnesota, where they will be having their state convention here in the next, this weekend. So a couple days from now. And, they created an unnecessary bit of controversy simply by trying to be decent human beings to their Muslim neighbors. Now, you probably remember Al Farouk. We spoke about, this is the mosque that we were talking about just a few weeks ago. We had Tom was with us, and we were talking about there were 3 guys who had bombed a mosque, and they were in jail in Illinois because I guess they went and they were going to like pull some other kind of nonsense off in Illinois, and they got caught. And there was an issue with filing charges and statutes of limitations and that kind of stuff. And we had Tom give us a legal opinion. Well, this is that same mosque, the Al Farouk Mosque. Let's see here. You've got just in the last couple of years, you have the bombing, and then another break-in. So basically, you had some Muslims that Bakat was talking to about something really kind of off topic, I guess, and it came up, well, why is it that people in the Republican Party are so closed off to us? Why won't they even talk to us? And Bakat's response was, well, I'll not only talk to you, I'll do you one better. We're looking for a venue to hold our convention at, and yours is good sized, so let's use yours. And that's what's brought him here to us today.
There was and people don't realize how I got connected with this community center. I actually serve on a committee for the city of Bloomington called One Bloomington, and it's an inclusion committee, and I lead a volunteer group called the Amenities Committee. And it's a volunteer thing for the city, and we assess different amenities and kind of are like a liaison between the community and the city on what amenities need improvement, what amenities we may need, or what amenities do people really like to use a lot. And so I've been rotating our meeting locations, and we had one at Al Farouk because it's a big amenity for our city. It's a faith amenity. It's also a community center and a resource for the Muslim community, the Somali community. So we went there, and that's when I really developed this relationship back in February. And I had known some of the things that people were concerned about in the past, the bombings, or people were tied to had like material providing substance to ISIS. And for me, it was, hey, I want to develop a relationship with you. Not only am I the Republican chairman of this district, but I want to reach out and grow the Republican Party through the message of liberty. And they're like, yeah, Republicans don't come talk to us. And like you said, let's do one better. Let's have a Republican Liberty Caucus State Convention here. And I think liberty is a message that can definitely bring people together. And I'm not trying to convert people, right? I'm not trying to say, hey, you all need to be Republicans right away. It's let's talk about this message of liberty and the idea of libertarianism. And I think there's some good compatibility there, and why not do some reach out?
There's definitely some good compatibility there. If you look at the history, if you look at the actions of or the writings of people like Shihab al-Din al-Qaddafi, if you look at the structure of the quote unquote state, so to speak, which wasn't even a state because there wasn't a single monopoly on the right to use force or violence. It was a society that was built around contracts of mutual defense and mutual non-aggression. And when you look at a society and you say, wow, this was a society that was built on contracts, different groups, Christians, Jews, Muslims, pagans, they had contracts with each other saying, you know what, we won't fight each other, and if anyone punches you in the face, we'll come to defend each other. That's a voluntarist, that's a libertarian society. That's like the most basic of libertarian societies. No state, just a bunch of groups with contracts saying, look, me and my group, we have our rules amongst ourselves, and we're just going to do that thing amongst ourselves. And you and your group have your rules amongst your, and we'll all do our own thing, and you do y'all's thing. And, like if one of my people hits one of your people, we won't go to war. We'll take somebody from a third party that's not either of us, and we'll let them arbitrate that between us, and, we'll accept the, and to me, that's a libertarian society, and that was the function of society under the Prophet Muhammad in Medina. That's what he built. And if you want to follow the original blueprint of Islam, then it's a society based on contracts where people of different views and different faiths live amongst one another in a peaceful fashion and commence trade with each other.
Well, don't give your whole speech yet. I'm really excited to hear it on Saturday. Don't give it all to me now. I'm looking forward to Saturday.
Right. Now, and that's another thing. I will be there as well. I will be giving the keynote on Saturday afternoon. I'm very honored that you guys offered me the opportunity to do so. Many of you in our listening audience, you've probably seen me at PorcFest, or at maybe the Atlanta Liberty concert series and other concert series, the Ron Paul concert series, where I gave an abridged version of a speech called "Liberty Brings Us Together," and I'll be giving that presentation at this event as well. All of you know, basically it's a historic discussion of the evolution of the concept of liberty and natural rights across a 5,000-year and multiple culture history. But I'm not the only person that's going to be there. You guys have other speakers too. Who's coming?
Yep. So who we actually will have speaking, I have some Muslim Republican speakers that are going to be speaking as well. Specifically a young man by the name of Abdi Regay Mohammed, who is a young Somali Muslim. I think he's about 24, going to college. He's a Republican. He was a Trump supporter. And so he's going to be speaking about his life and his journey to the Republican Party and what liberty means to him. I have another gentleman by the name of Faisal, who's a little bit older, probably from the elders, who will be speaking, who is a Muslim Republican from a different culture. So he East African, but he will be talking about his life into the Republican Party and why liberty is important to him. And then lastly, besides you, other Republican leaders, and as well as Rashed, who leads in a group called Islamic Resource Group, who will also be speaking. We're excited to have about misconceptions of Islam.
All right, where can we get tickets at?
You can get tickets at our website, rlcminnesota.org. And rlcminnesota.org through an Eventbrite link, and then also on our Facebook.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
Right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And well, our next story, we just had a great interview with Xavier Becotte of the Republican Liberty Caucus. If you're interested, if you live in the Tri-City area or anywhere around Minneapolis, Minnesota, we encourage you, please come out. Tickets are only $50, and meet with us, have an opportunity to listen to some speakers, and have a good time. And we really do hope to see you there if you get the opportunity. But as I said, we're moving right along. I wanted to hit this story was kind of amusing to me, partly because it's it kind of flies in the face of the whole stereotype of what goes on when you smoke marijuana. This coming from the dailymail.uk. Elderly people should smoke pot to prevent memory loss, according to a new German study. Cannabis revived the brain cells of old mice and could do the same in humans. Cannabis could help prevent memory loss in the elderly, a new study has found. Researchers in Germany, who are set to begin human trials later this year, say that the drug may even help delay the onset of Alzheimer's disease by slowing the brain's natural aging process.
Yeah, of all the things I've ever heard about weed, that makes me want to smoke it more than anything else, even dealing with the paranoia.
Well, like I said, if you're dealing with... we covered this when you weren't here.
Yeah, black pepper.
Black pepper, huh?
No, I was here.
Oh, you were. Well, yeah, that's right. We waited until you were here.
I wouldn't even know where to find weed anymore.
Black pepper is the magic cure, evidently, or it's at least worth a try. Let's see here. Researchers in Germany are set to begin human trials later this year. Says the mental power of older mice was improved dramatically after they were given THC, the psychoactive part of marijuana that makes users high. In fact, their brain connections in the hippocampus, which controls learning, memory, and emotions, were firing as well as those of young adults. it's hoped that the same may apply to humans. You see, trials are probably going to begin this year. The psychologist, Professor Andreas Zimmer of Bonn University in Germany, said that the findings are essential in the movement to understand cannabis as a form of medicine. More than half of the highly influential United States has voted in favor of legalization for medical use, and Germany followed suit just 2 months ago. Chronic low-dose treatment with THC or cannabis extracts could be a potential strategy to slow down or even reverse cognitive decline in the elderly. Today, these results reveal a profound, long-lasting improvement of cognitive performance resulting from a low dose of THC treatment in mature and old animals. THC treatment for 28 days restored the learning and memory performance of mature and old animals in the water maze, novel object location recognition, and social recognition tests to the levels observed in young mice. This is a direct quote from the psychologist, Professor Andreas Zimmer. His team, whose findings are published in Nature Medicine, says it's too early to say if their remarkable results could be achieved in human patients. But they offer hope that drugs based on cannabis or THC could be given to middle-aged or older people to slow the aging process before any lasting damage is done. Co-author Andres Bilke-Gorzo said, "Cannabis abuse is age-dependent. It's a problem for younger rather than older people. In safe doses, the compound could improve their brains. It's possible it could delay the onset of Alzheimer's disease. But at this point, it's pure speculation. We hope to start clinical trials by the end of the year with 100 or even hundreds of people." Now, previous studies have suggested that chemicals found in marijuana are effective against Alzheimer's disease. I actually heard about a study last year or the year before where they showed that the use of cannabis lowered the amount of plaque buildup in the brain, which contributes to Alzheimer's disease. In the latest experiments, 3 groups of mice that were 18, which is old, 12, which is mature, and 2 months, which is young, were regularly injected with low doses of THC for 28 days. The equivalent ages in human years would be 64, 58, and 20, respectively. Both before and after the treatment, they were challenged with a series of tasks that tested their learning and memory skills. These included negotiating their way around a water maze, locating objects, and recognizing other mice. In young mice, THC impaired their performance, but the same therapy actually improved learning and memory in both of the older sets of animals. Prior to receiving THC, they did poorly, but afterwards, they were as efficient as the young mice. And interestingly, that compound had reduced the mental skills of the young mice. Professor Zimmer, a psychiatrist at Bonn University, said THC boosted genes that control neurons in the hippocampus, restoring them to the same patterns observed in the young. Psychoactive compounds found in marijuana, such as THC, exert their actions on the nervous system by interacting with the endocannabinoid system, which deals with pain. This is the brain's own internal version of cannabis chemicals, which become desensitized as people get older. It's even been linked with beginning the process that leads to Alzheimer's. Professor Zimmer says that the endocannabinoid system declines during aging, but a direct link with the symptoms has not been shown. When someone smokes cannabis, THC binds to the endocannabinoid receptor called CB1. It is the interaction between the drug and this receptor that makes people feel high. Professor Zimmer said that when you use low-dose THC, it actually reversed age-declared decline in cognitive performance of the mice that were aged 12 and 18 months. So we see here you have independent studies being done. So like if the government had done this study, Aria, what do you think they would have found?
That, smoking weed gives you AIDS.
That's right. Drugs are bad, okay?
I mean, it's not at all surprising that we're finding out all of this, but, we seem to cycle between the same positive benefits or different positive benefits every few years. Like a few years ago, it was discovered that taking mushrooms can actually, psilocybin cubensis, can actually cure depression. Not treat it, not stall it, not delay it, but cure it. And then, a year later, this study comes out that says the very same thing. We just keep stumbling upon positive effect after positive effect, and all of them are, either identical to ones we've already found, or they're just so overwhelmingly positive that, like this one, that they're hard to even believe. And yet the drugs remain, these things that grow outside with no human intervention whatsoever remain.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agrishosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agris Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agrishosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agrishosting.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Out to Jerry Garcia and Bob Marley. All my friends are stoners, lighting up all of the time. Everybody has a mason jar. Can you guess what I put in mine?
All right, welcome back here to the final segment of this Thursday afternoon live broadcast of The Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're going to keep moving forward. Going to stay right around kind of, we usually do cannabis news in the last segment, but I wanted to make sure, just in case we couldn't get through it with a little bit of commentary, that we covered that last story. But this is another one. This is, libertarians, we talk a lot about how government affects small business, but we never really talk about how the war on drugs literally harms small businesses. That's correct. The war on drugs harms small businesses. You see, right now, with low unemployment rates and the spread of cannabis legalization, many businesses are rethinking their testing policies for the first time in decades. The problem is that because of laws and insurance and things such as that, smaller companies are going to have a lot of problems. You see, small business owners, they've got state laws regarding medical and recreational marijuana use to worry about. It is still illegal under federal law. And they don't have these big legal departments to really kind of sort through all of that. They don't have the money for that. It says here, there's a lot of conflict, and many employers, they just don't know what to do, according to Catherine Russo, a lawyer at Melville's New York-based firm Jackson Lewis. Recreational use is legal in 9 states, plus Washington, D.C., and medical is legal in 29 states. So this here is supposed to answer some of the questions for these small business owners. First of all, employment lawyers say that as far as federally regulated and safety sensitive, that's an easy one. If your business is regulated by the Federal Department of Transportation or as a defense contractor, you're likely to legally be required to drug test for all drugs illegal at the federal level, including marijuana. Similarly, if a job raises safety concerns, such as a forklift driver or an operator of heavy factory equipment or a meat slicer, then it's in the best interest of the employer to still test for cannabis, even if it's legal in your state. But
what about opiates and Xanax?
Right.
Because I would trust a forklift driver on marijuana infinitely more than I would trust one who had eaten a bunch of Xanax.
Well, this says it's not a good idea, at least for you to discriminate. 3 court cases in the past year have sided with employees, forcing companies in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island to reinstate workers with medical marijuana cards who were fired or whose job offers were rescinded because they tested positive. In roughly a dozen states, medical marijuana users are protected to some degree from employment discrimination. Yet the state laws around the issue are all different. In Arizona and Pennsylvania, for example, state law explicitly allows employers to bar medical pot users from safety-sensitive positions. Other states don't or don't have clear rules. Now, here's the part where the state comes in. You see, some companies receive discounts on their workers' compensation insurance premiums if they conduct drug tests. If an employer is thinking about stopping testing, well, you might want to find out whether or not you're going to lose that subsidy from the state. Michael Clarkson, head of drug testing practice at Ogletree Deacons, recommends that small companies check with their insurance brokers before making the final decision. Now, looking at this is doing a bit of my own research, looking at the workforce QA for the drug-free workplace, and I'm sure you've seen the drug-free workplace posters up if you live in any of the 11 states where drug-free workplace premiums are offered: Alabama and Arkansas, Florida and Georgia, Idaho and Kentucky, Mississippi and Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee.
So the South, rural areas.
Well, Wyoming and Ohio as well, and Idaho. Most states that have premium reductions require, drug-free workplace policy, regulatory compliance, employee training, employee assistance programs, confidentiality programs. But in return for drug testing their employees, the government required workman's comp insurance that they are required to pay will receive a 5 to 7.5% up to 20% in Ohio credit subsidy applied to their annual workers' compensation insurance premium. So DFWP means in the long run, you get businesses involved in helping wage the drug war by paying them off. Wow.
Well, I mean, it's very much how they turned businesses into tax collectors as well.
I'm wrong. It's 13 states now. Hawaii and New York have been added to the list. Workplace safety and loss prevention incentive programs, separate credits to provide for the safety, return to work, and drug and alcohol prevention. Credit of 10% for the first year and 6% thereafter. Virginia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Mississippi, Hawaii, Florida, and Alabama all offer a 5% insurance premium subsidy to any business that is willing to drug test all employees and instill an anti-drug training program as well as a
propaganda
drug prevention program.
You mispronounced propaganda.
Right, propaganda program. Those are the states that offer 5. Oh, and Arkansas. I missed Arkansas. Georgia, Idaho. Who else? Georgia and Idaho offer a 7.5% discount. New York offers a 6% of 10% first year, 6% thereafter, and Ohio offers a 20% subsidy for workers' compensation insurance for all small businesses that are willing to implement this program. This is how they're keeping small businesses drug testing employees, even in states where it's become legal. This is how they continue the drug war via employment in states that legalize cannabis. In Virginia, you have legal medical cannabis with drug-free workplace laws. I mean, that makes total sense, right?
All right. Which part?
drug-free workplace laws in Virginia that has a medical marijuana law. Like, you have a law that makes marijuana legal, but you also have drug-free workplace laws that says, okay, you can legally smoke this, but we're going to subsidize the insurance of any company that doesn't give you a job if you do. Tell me that's not taxpayer-funded discrimination. Straight up. I mean, there's literally nothing else that you could call it. It's taxpayer-funded discrimination.
Right, because they don't do that with opiates and Xanax.
Right, exactly. They're not. If you've got a prescription for Xanax or a prescription for Klonopin or a prescription for, what's that really crazy one that's killing everybody right now? Not hydrocodone, but the really strong. They're not going to tell you can't have a job. But, you smoke a doobie, we'll give you 20% off your insurance premium if you'll fire that guy. Anyway, we'll be back. Well, I won't be back. I'll be flying tomorrow. I'll be up in the air, but we'll have Tom and Aria here on the Call to Freedom covering the best in news, the best in crypto news, and your favorite libertarian drama. Don't go anywhere, though, guys, because Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to